Hi everyone. So today is the day that we replace the hydrangeas that we took out of here with some boxwoods in the front bed here.
Yeah, on one y'all can see that video on one of the recent videos that not long ago that we showed you guys.
Yep.
I know a lot of you were kind of very sad to see them go.
I'm still sad.
I'm doing great. I'm actually excited because we're gonna plant these boxwoods. I love boxwood.
Yeah.
Of course I love flowers, and that's why we had hydrangeas up there, the panicle ones. But I am excited. I'm excited to plant these guys because we're not just going to go ahead and plant in just any boxwood.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go ahead and leave this home, you know, for the next people that are going to move in with something really nice. So we went ahead and chose the Sprinter Boxwoods from Winters. So these guys are hardy zones 5 through 9.
Yeah.
And what else was I going to tell you about them? I do not want to forget because I love these guys. They are great for full sun and for shade. So they can take any type of lighting. We've had all of these. We've had them since the first time we actually moved here. We've had them growing in all areas of our garden, even the most shadier areas of our garden. Yeah, I know they're still in this container. We've been here 3 years, and some of them I've planted a few in containers that I've had these just stuck in regular little pots, and they give that extra little green, that filler around the garden. So let me tell you why this boxwood, what's so special about it, the Sprinter Boxwood from Winters. So I'm going to read it off their website. This is an improved and fast-growing form of winter gem. Its glossy evergreen foliage is attractive year-round, and it has excellent hardiness. This variety's more upright habit makes it great for hedging. Faster growth means it will fill in more quickly than other varieties. Use it for edging or a low hedge in formal gardens. That's why. The main reason is because we know it will grow a little, you know, it'll grow faster than the usual boxwood.
Yeah, every comment and review I've read about the Sprinter Boxwoods is that after the first year of planting, it doubles in size. Many other boxwoods that you get are very slow growing boxwoods, and everything I've read about this one, the reviews, is that it actually grows fairly quickly.
It's a very healthy boxwood as well. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, we have not really cared really much for them, but they're just sitting there and get watered. They haven't been fertilized, nothing special, and they've stayed really healthy and beautiful and glossy. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and pick them out, and because they'll fill out. We're still gonna be here a few months, so we'll get to see them as they're growing. But if you follow any other people that are growing these boxwoods, or you're one of them, please leave a comment down below on how fast these grown for you so others know. Also, you know, I follow other people on social media, and I've been following them since day one that they've planted them. And they're a good size in their yard by now in the second, third year.
Yeah, and we'll actually talk about why we're actually putting boxwoods in here after we're done with the planting.
So these grow from, was it 2 to 4 feet, the spread?
Yep.
Width and everything?
2 to 4 feet tall and wide. So we're gonna go ahead and space these out about 3 feet apart. I know it's still a little bit close, but we wanna leave this place the way we inherited it. And that's what we had before, was boxwoods up here.
And here, when they come around taking care of, you know, maintenance from the landscape, they always trim back everything. So we know that they'll go ahead and be trimmed back. So we'll finish talking a little bit more of why we went with these and not another type of plant later on as we're closing the video. So I say we go ahead and show them what we're going to use to plant them up there and get going.
All right, so we're gonna use a few things to put in these boxwoods up here. And it's only a few things because whoever's gonna get this bed after we leave here is gonna be lucky if they're gardeners, because we've done so much to this bed. All the amendments, all the mulch, all the fertilization that has gone in here, the watering, it's perfect for anybody that wants to come in here and just add something to this bed as far as flowers go. It's just absolutely perfect already. But real quick, what we're gonna use real quick here is, obviously we're gonna use our auger here to dig these holes to put these shrubs in there. We've already have some holes in there that we're gonna work with in a little bit, but we also have some biotone that's we're gonna use to get these Sprinter Boxwoods in there and settled, and that way they don't go into shock and they absolutely take really well. Is we're using the biotone. That's something that we use for all of our plantings. And then the next thing we went ahead and got some tree and shrubs garden soil, and the reason for that is because we took out the hydrangeas here. There's some soil missing from there. I don't know how much soil we're gonna need after we dig more holes for these boxwoods. So we went ahead and got some extra soil that we can just use as a backfill. We were gonna go with topsoil, but I figured we'd go ahead and use some garden soil that we can just backfill in there. And then at the end, we're gonna use some, we went with pine bark mini nuggets, and we went with that because this is a slope. Although they use this very shredded fine mulch up here, we went with the mini nuggets because they retain a little bit more moisture, and because it's a slope, the water's gonna drain a little bit faster, so that's gonna help those boxwoods. And again, we'll talk about it at the end why we chose this. So let's go ahead and dig these holes and get started putting these boxwoods in.
So letting you know before Ambrose gets going, there are some daffodils there. We're waiting for them to be to dye back their foliage, but we might have to pull them out either way because we have to make room for the boxwoods. So
yeah,
if you see him pulling them out, guys, sorry, I'll try to see if I can just put them back in there or something in another area.
I dug the hole out here for the boxwood here, but I've got some roots from some other plants, possibly this viburnum, the hydrangeas we had in here before that are no longer viable. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use some pruners to cut some of those roots out so I can go ahead and fit this this boxwood in here.
So one thing we're gonna do, because we're working with clay soil here, and we do want even though we're working on a slope, there's good drainage there. We still want them to drain no matter what. Well, we're going to plant them raised just a little bit up from the crown right there.
Yeah.
Just so there's no way they can get root rot. That's really it.
Now with these Sprinter Boxwoods, one thing you want to keep in mind is these have been in these containers for what, 2-3 years now?
3 years.
They're not really too root bound, and the reason for that is because Sprinter Boxwoods, their roots are it's a very shallow system, and they only live in like about the first 12 inches of the planting. So they don't look too bad at all. You just want to move it around just a little bit, not too much, not to disturb it so they don't go into shock. And that's pretty much it. I mean, easy to really plant these. Is just take some really good fertilizer to get them going and settled in there. Get some biotone, please.
Yep. That's why they're so great for to have in containers and pots for a while. Ready? I'm gonna throw it in there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that enough?
That's good. All right, so I got the first boxwood in here, and just as I suspected, I'm lacking some soil up here, and that's the reason why we got some tree and shrub garden soil to go ahead and backfill. Now I'm not gonna do it yet. I'm gonna go ahead and dig the other holes and get the other boxwoods in here because I might have some of that soil that comes out that's gonna be extra, and I wanna use that native soil first before I start using any other soil to backfill around these and then put the mulch on top of that. But loving the way it looks. What do you think?
That looks awesome. Can't wait to get all the rest in.
So Angie's right here on the side guiding me. We want to make sure we put these in the right placement. Again, like I said, I want them about 3 feet apart because I also had this viburnum here that they do a pretty good job when they come out here and landscape it and cut it back, so it's not really gonna intermingle too much. But the other boxwoods, we want to go ahead and plant them up. Now everything else you see here is actually gonna come out once we move, minus the daffodils. We're gonna leave those in there for the next occupants of the house. They'll be able to enjoy some daffodils next year, but our daylilies are gonna come out as well. So the only thing that's gonna be remaining here is probably gonna be these daffodils and these boxwoods here.
So guys, he went ahead and hit up the daffodils. We are gonna have to move them. Well, I just don't want him to break them because it would be nice for them to still have whoever lives here to still see some daffodils. So that's what he's doing right now. He's gonna take them out, and then we'll go ahead and just place them somewhere else in the same bed. He's a monster.
After you call me a Daffodil Killer.
And you hit me with it too.
Sorry. Those are not going to be viable at all.
Monster.
So
So I need to take it in.
Yeah.
There is just something so pleasing about boxwood. I'm a huge flower girl here, but I love my green, and my green is very important in the garden because it shows all the pretty later on. Is that backdrop, and gosh, that green on those Sprinter Boxwoods.
Yeah, I definitely love the green on those boxwoods.
Now I want to plant up the bed with all these colors.
Yeah, I mean they look very healthy, very happy. Excited to see how they grow. I know we're only gonna be here a couple months, but I'm excited to see how they take on, especially using the biotone. That's always a plus whenever we plant something big, such as a perennial in the ground. The biotone's going to be very beneficial.
Yeah, that's completely good. So that, right now that you're talking about the biotone, before I get going with other stuff, we want them to get established before we leave from here, because in the beginning, any plant that you get in the ground, any plant that you just plant new, you need to baby it, meaning you not baby it, but you got to give it some water, maybe the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Make sure that they get good water. It's about to rain, so that's great too right now, because they're going to get that good soak, hopefully. And then, I don't know, they're just get established, and once we leave, we don't have to worry. We know that they made it. So that biotone,
so
that you're saying about the roots,
and that goes into what we talked about in the beginning, is why we chose boxwood to put up here. And
let's go with that. Let's talk about that now.
Yeah, one of the main reasons is because when we got here, there were boxwoods up here. And they were very tiny, smaller than these actually.
You can tell they had just planted them in bed. They look horrible.
It goes back to what Angie just said. Whenever you plant something in the ground, you want to consistently water it for at least 2 weeks. And even then, so they get completely established. You can tell those were not established because we used the word heaving on one of the last videos. They heaved completely and they just popped right out whenever we were thinking about pulling them out. It wasn't even a thought of shoveling them out because we were literally just grabbing them by the hand and pulling them out. They weren't established at all.
And they were not a variety. Like, there is just so many new types of breeds now, things that are going on in the world of gardening and the breeding. That's why we love Proven Winners, with this new Sprinter Boxwood. It's been out for a while now, but they grow pretty quickly. Yeah. And we might get to see them fill out pretty nicely. So, that's why we went with them, because... So let's talk. Sorry, go, because I wanted to talk about something.
There's no automatic watering system here. There's no one that's really we don't know what the next occupants are gonna do when it comes to gardening or even maintaining the front, and nothing on them, but the maintenance company just comes out here and they cut them back, and there's no watering system. So we want them to establish before we leave here, so that way there's something here in these boxwoods will maintain. With as much as it rains here in Virginia, they should be absolutely fine once they get established.
We want to leave them. We want to leave this home with something nice. One of the things when we moved in and we asked, first we asked if we were allowed, what could we do if we can remove. And the deal was with them here was that we just we left the outdoors just as when we arrived. So that's why we're going, like Ambrose said, the boxwoods. Yeah. What else was I going to say about that? I'm going to say it. I don't want to leave the home with crappy stuff.
Yeah, true.
So that's why I want to make sure that this place is always going to have something beautiful. And living on a military base, when the families are going, we know how it is. When we're about to, when we're about to make our move again, it is crazy. And it's kind of sad when you arrive, because sometimes you don't even know what home you're going to arrive. Yes. Like us this time around. We had no clue what house, what it looked like, whatever, and what we had in the front. And it's really nice to drive up to your home, surprise, and there's something pretty. And when we got, a lot of the homes here, they don't have that. They've kind of let go here of that.
So I'm laughing because in North Carolina, when we got there, all we had was pine needles in the front bed. And I kind of feel bad now because we left there, we pulled our roses, we put everything out of there and left it the way we got it.
Because they told us to leave it as how we got
So
there.
I feel kind of bad that we didn't leave nothing in there. But the reason I'm laughing is because there are instances like this where you show up and you don't have anything in the front, and that's not what you want to come into when you receive a new home or a new place to live.
It feels good to arrive to your home, and it's very welcoming as you're pulling up, and it's sad and very I don't even know what to call it. It's just very sad to arrive to a home after a very long drive, sometimes cross country or from another, across this, what is it called? Like from another part of the world, you know?
Going from California to
or
North
overseas.
Carolina,
I meant like overseas,
yeah.
and then big old, you know, trip, and then you come home and
So
there's nothing nice. So these are beautiful. So
Yeah.
I hope that
we,
you know.
we put the tree and shrub garden soil in there just to fill in a little bit. Now it's gonna level out a little bit once it gets watered and you know the runoff and all that stuff. So we didn't mulch. That's one thing that we talked about in the beginning. We're gonna mulch. We're gonna hold off on the mulching because we're gonna do some annuals here. Just to enjoy for a little bit, and we don't want to put the mulch in yet because once we put the annuals in, we want to remulch it, and then that soil, like I said, will settle a little bit. Those boxwoods may settle a little bit more, and we want to be able to push those up a little bit. If they settle too much, we don't want them to.
We might have to do that over here, or have to give them more of that. What is it called that you got the tree?
Yeah, the tree and shrub garden soil. So, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it because it's always fun to plant.
Yeah, we are, because you just threw it out there. Yeah, we are going to plant again.
Oh,
we didn't.
I wasn't supposed to say that, but I did.
The kids don't even know yet. I know they're gonna get excited.
You guys really think we're gonna move without planting anything? No.
We're gonna put some pretty up there and some color. Okay. So, any questions? Any, you know, from what we just did gardening?
Yeah,
leave it down below.
Definitely leave comments down below. Also, subscribers, non-subscribers. There's a big percentage of you guys that are non-subscribers watching. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button.
Helps a lot.
Give us a like and get our content out there because we're going to be moving. We're going to be establishing a whole new garden. It's going to be a lot of fun for you guys to be able to come and enjoy what we're actually doing. So.
You got any questions, or you know that I see a lot of you asking questions. Sometimes we can't get to all of them. We have an actual Garden Obsessions Facebook page. Where you can go ahead and show me what you got going on, and we will see it there, leave pictures, and we can answer you right there and then. So there's where you can find us too on Instagram.
So that's gonna do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hold on, you know what we forgot in this video? Some B-roll.